Good evening and welcome to the channel. So tonight I'm going to be opening a box of Mount Doom. It comes in boxes. Yes, I'm getting one. So the Lord of the Rings trading card game was started in 2001 with the was released just before the motion picture came out for the Fellowship, and it lasted until 2007 when Decipher lost the license for the game. Mount Doom was the last expansion of the Return of the King block, and at the time it was one of the more powerful, one of the more powerful expansions in the game. Reflections was the big one that happened. Decipher's known for doing a number of those with Reflections in their history with Star Wars and with Star Trek, but they also did it for Lord of the Rings, and the cards in that set were very powerful. So tonight we're going to open up the box. So obviously in this set the Sauron culture is going to feature prominently in this set. See if I can work on the camera for just a second. Troll of Sirith Gorgor. Of course, we had Shelob that was in this set as well. These were two very powerful cards in the set at common. Nine-fingered Frodo in Ring of Doom. Insert a Hobbit character to remove a burden or two threats. And then each Orc and Uruk-hai skirmishing bear strength -1. These were really good cards. Southron cards, or Evil Men cards. This one was really good. Adding threats was quite powerful. Oops. I knew I was going to do that. This is one of the 3 sites in this set. Obviously this is the White City. One of the Gondor themes in this block was fortifications and It was intensive, but it was quite good. Born far away. Spot a wizard companion to exchange a companion in your hand with a companion in your dead or discard pile. So in this game, if you had a unique character in the dead pile, you couldn't play him. You couldn't play another copy of him. So this lets you sort of cheat. Swap one in your hand for a different one so you can play one that's in your hand. The Corsairs were absolutely busted in this game. They came into play in Siege of Gondor and they were broken. This one was pretty powerful at common. Oops, I got that wrong pile. Free wounds. This was pretty powerful as well. Each roaming Sauron orc is fierce. Now, yeah, this pump was quite good in a site control deck. I played one at Worlds that year, 2004. Of course, the elves were leaving. Saw this one just a minute ago. So this is also another one that was quite powerful. It allowed Hobbit-based strategies to double move where they normally couldn't. Specifically Dauntless Hunter, which was a mainstay of the tournament field. Shelob, you were my bane. One of my two losses at Worlds in 2004 was to this version of Shelob. And just like most collectible card games, they have a sort of a fixed how they are on the sheet. Let's see if I can bend this down a little bit. So one of the other things that they had in the set was orcs that were roaming. They could do some more stuff with. Now this was another good card for the Hobbit deck. Just cost you 1 and exertion, which you pretty much had extras of. Unyielding. And when the skirmish, discard a position to win a minion or liberate a site. This one was very good if usually you were killing it anyway, but so this is a fortification. It was a condition that applied to your sport area, and then you had an ability to move it to a character. Now this one gives the bearer -1 strength for each fortification you can spot, and so it shrunk stuff a lot. Gorbag sword. Decent rare. So in this game, the idea is to get your ring bearer to site 9 without getting him killed, or without getting him corrupted, or to kill or corrupt your opponent's ring bearer. Certain cultures were better at, or certain cultures were better at wounding and killing, and some were better at corrupting. And you can see here, this one um, discourages large fellowships, as anything over 5 you could add extra burdens for. Oops. I want to move them into the frame. Apologize for the extra sound. It began raining here just a minute ago. Alright, so these are one of the cards that reward you for losing initiative. A player has initiative. If the Free People's player has 4 more cards in hand, they have initiative. If they have 3 less cards in hand, then they lose initiative. Up until now, it's been the penalty. This set gave a cycle of cards that gave you a bonus if you lost initiative, so it sort of evened out. In this case, if you see spot 2 hobbits, you get to remove a burden. Quite powerful against those strategies. Field of the Fallen. Very good global condition. If there's a character in the dead pile, each companion in the same culture is I think this is a misprint. It is. So apparently this is a first edition box, which you can see in the bottom left hand corner. But it's supposed to rate each companion of the same culture as that character is strength -1, and it looks like character and strength are merged together. I don't think I've ever seen that. Oops. Birthday present. Add a burden to choose 2 Hobbit events with different card titles from discard pile. Opponent chooses 1 that you take in the hand. These are going to be mostly ones we've seen already. Last throw. This is one we haven't seen. Opponent controls a site, spot 2 men to make the move limit +1 for the turn. This is a very good one. While you have initiative, each of your Sauron minions is strength +1. Discard this condition to make a Sauron minion strength +2 or 4 if it's roaming. Pelennor Prairie. Oh yeah, each site, each block had its own unique site path. So these are, since these have the crown above it, that means these are king sites. They have a twilight number and shadow number in the corner. This is how much shadow they add to the pool. In this game, you play a deck that is half free peoples or fellowship cards and half shadow cards. And I do mean half. Literally, they must be exactly the same number. with the exception of your ring bearer and your copy of the One Ring. You can those don't count against your deck limit. And you also have to have a site path of 9 sites, numbered 1 through 9. At least the first few years you did. And the Free People's player, when they play cards, they add Shadow or add Twilight to the pool. And when the Shadow player played cards, it removed Twilight from the pool. And so that was sort of your balancing mechanic. You give your opponent a bunch, you may get hit hard. Yep, this is another copy of it. Apparently the first edition prints were misdone, because I don't ever remember that being the case. Fell deeds await. This is another one. If you lose initiative, you may liberate a site. Serdan. To play spot 2 elves, exert him to make minion he is skirmishing streak +1 for each elven event in your discard pile. So elves typically shrink their the minions that they're against. Here's another one. If you have initiative, each Schmeagle minion is damage +1. Discard this condition to make a Schmeagle minion strength +1 for each culture you can spot. I remember this being a pain too. Let's throw, flips out, here's another one that's a real pain. Make haste. It's a maneuver event. Stealth, spot a Hobbit companion and return him or her to your hand to make a Shadow player choose to remove 2 or discard a minion. And this is another card that made Dauntless Hunter decks very difficult to deal with. Dauntless Hunter was Legolas from 2 Towers, and for each unbound Hobbit you could spot, he made cards, possessions, conditions, or events. I think one of those 3 didn't get affected, and I have to look it up. I'm not going to take time to do it now, but he made them cost +1 for each unbound Hobbit you could spot. So in a deck where you're choked up on what you can play anyway, and you get to play a card like this that lets you return Merry or Pippin to your hand, and potentially if there's less than 2 in the pool, they can't remove it, so they have to discard a minion. Then you can just stop, replay your guy, he's fully healed, and you've barely taken any wins. This card was nuts. I think that's all the new cards on that one. Interesting enough, I haven't pulled a foil yet. Ooh, Larry Nelia. So, while I'm thinking about it, minion cards have a diamond for their cost. Let's see if I can. And a fellowship card has a circle instead of a diamond. That's how you can tell which side half the deck they have. Minions and companions have a strength, a vitality. Minions have a site number. So if you play this minion at site 2 or any site after, he costs printed. But if let's say, I'll get one here in just a second. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So this Sauron orc, you'll notice their site number 6. If you play him before Site 6, his cost is 2 more. So he costs 5 before you get to Site 6. And Site 6, 7, 8, 9, he costs his printed cost. And then you'll notice that there's a couple of keywords here. There's enduring and fierce. So enduring, this minion is strength +2 for every wound on him. So if he's got 2 wounds on him, he's still alive, and now he's 14 strength. And fierce means that after all normal skirmishes are over, there's a fierce round, and all minions with fierce come back and fight a second time. Really strong, by the way. Reclaim the precious. Assign Golem to a companion bearing an artifact. Free People's player may add a burden to prevent this, and assign Golem. Exert Golem twice to discard a possession. Again, this is another really good card for that deck. Besiegers. These are the characters that like to take control of sites on the site path, and the more sites that they control, the better their abilities are. Arwen, Queen of Elves and Men. Each minion skirmishing Arwen is strength -2 for each wounded minion you could spot. The deck that I played at Worlds 2004 had Arwen in it. This Arwen. I'm hoping we pull the Awen that was in the set as well. Both of them are super good. Mordor Fiend. Yeah, they didn't realize when they printed this guy that he actually had a infinite combo with a card way back in Fellowship of the Ring. There's another Besieger. Nice. So, yeah, his regroup text there. Stack this minion on a site you control. So taking control of sites is very important to that theme. This was my shadow side for that deck. We played a lot of big minions, and we could get to a point that we could swarm you. It was with massive big cries. Chance observation. This was another really good pump for that deck because it cost you 0 and it could be up to +4. And that's Pillager. And a generic Urkai. Window of the Eye. Spot a Sauron minion each time the Fellowship moves. In the regroup phase, may remove a threat to wound an unbound companion. Eight packs. This is pack number 8. Controller. Lightning is Mind. We saw that one earlier. We saw that one earlier. Dark Swooping Shadow. Heal an enduring Nazgul minion to add a burden or 2 threats. I remember playing against one of these decks. I tried to make sure that all of them all of them died before we got to the skirmish phase. Oh, no. Okay. See the foiling on them? That's why the foils are beautiful. End of the game. Make an exhausted Gondor companion strength +2. If the companion wins a skirmish, either heal that companion or make him or her damage +1. Okay, I think all these are going to be repeats. No, this one's not. Southron Savage. While the total number of other minions and Twilight tokens is 3 or fewer, this minion is strength +3 and fierce. So you could sort of manipulate that in certain ways, particularly earlier on the site path, but it could be done later. But yeah, 3, 4, and 8 or 11 strength fierce minion was really good. These boosters. This was another one that was quite played. Black Marshal, Shadow, exert a Nazgul and play a Ring Wraith minion to add 1 or 2 if you have initiative. Sirith Ungol Scavenger. Hardy Garrison. Each time you lose initiative, you may wound a minion. File of Galadriel, Starglass. Bear must be a hobbit. Until the regroup phase, remove game text, except card type and race, from a minion skirmishing bearer and make it unable to gain game text. Discard this artifact. Okay. Marvel, we saw that one earlier. Every little is a game. Spot a Condor Man to discard stacked shadow card or wound a minion bearing a fortification. So this was doubly good if you're playing a fortification deck or against shadow sites that stacked cards, besiegers, usually anything that could take control of sites. There are a few others that had cards that did this. Was really good. Another copy of Make Haste, Chance Observation, Dead Man of Dunharrow. 2 cost, 6 strength, 3 vitality, enduring. To play at a threat. When you play this companion, exert him twice. So there were obviously with the enduring mechanic, he's basically a 2 cost, 10 strength with 1 hit point left. Swarming like beetles. Spot a ring wraith orc and remove the threat to wound an unwounded companion. This was very good for the strategy. Fleet-footed. Make a minion skirmishing an elf. Strength -2. Spot a site in a support area to place this event on top of your draw deck. So way to recur it. Of all the lose an initiative cards in this set, this one was by far the most powerful. Glimpse of Fate costs 0. It is unique. To play spot 2 elves. Each time you lose initiative, make a minion strength -4 until the regroup phase. Hopefully I'll pull one of the other cards that I can show you why you can combine these two and just shrink a minion to nothing. Final Strike. Any site 9 is a mountain. Fellowship is at site 9. Play Golem from your discard pile. If a player uses a maneuver archery special ability, exert Golem to cancel it. Cursed of Eriched. 3/7/3, enduring to play out a threat. When you play him, exert him twice. At the start of the maneuver phase, you may exert another Wraith to make Cursed of Eriched defender +1 until the regroup phase. And our rare. Gothmog's Warg. Bear must be a Sauron orc for each site you control. Bear is strength +1 or strength +2 if Bear is Gothmog. 10 times overwhelmed. This was brutal. One cost, make make a Ringwraith Orc, strength +2 for each wound on the ring bearer. I cannot tell you how ridiculous this card was. So the Ringwraith Orcs in this block were designed to either to wound the ring bearer or add burdens. And it gave you some very bad options. I do mean very bad. And one of the rings that you have gives Frodo 6 vitality, so he could have up to 5 wounds. So this could be up to +10. That's enough to overwhelm a companion. Brute. Each orc bearing a possession cannot take wounds except during skirmishes, which is really good. I think all the rest of these have been seen. Another 9-fingered Frodo. Okay, yep. Arwen, Echo of Lothlorien. 2 cost, 6 strength, 3 vitality, Aragorn Signet. These didn't have any innate abilities, but there's several cards that spotted and used these for different things. Discard a card from hand to discard the bottom card of your draw deck. If the bottom card was an elven card, each minion skirmishing armor and strength -3. This was not the greatest. Watches of Cirith Ungol. Side 8, 8 Twilight. Skirmish. Spot your Ringwraith Orc and remove 2 threats to make that Orc strength +3. Cirith Ungol Sentinel. These minions were not that great in this set. More yet to come. If a dwarf kills a minion in a skirmish, and that minion did not take all wounds caused by the dwarf's damage bonus, assign those remaining wounds to minions not assigned to the skirmish. Oh my lord, this card was busted. So again, the deck that I played at Worlds 2004, Gimli was my ring bearer. And Arwen and Eowyn were my other 2 companions. And if I didn't, if I easily slaughtered between their 3 abilities and this card, I was wiping the floor with most stuff. Sentry, Barrentlands, 2 costs. Oh yeah, before I forget, the dot means the card is unique, so you can only have 1 copy in play. However, your deck can have up to 4 copies of the card. To play, spot a Sauron minion. Each time the fellowship moves to any site 8 or 9, exert each ring-bound companion. Discard this condition to play a Sauron minion. Its Twilight cost is -2. So, ring-bound companions. Basically, anyone whose path crossed with the ring from 2 towers forward is ring-bound. with the exceptions of all. Except Frodo and Sam, they were pretty well ring-bound all the way through, except for like a couple of copies. These look like extras we've seen. Far Harad Mercenaries. 5 cost 11-4. It's 11-3-4. Southron. At the start of each skirmish involving this minion, you may spot 6 companions and another man to discard an unbound companion this minion is skirmishing. Now they're not dead, but discarded can be just as bad because now you've miscounted. Now this was a common. Gorgoroth Swarm. 5 cost 12-3-5 Besieger. When you play this minion, you may spot 6 companions and another Besieger to play a Besieger from your discard pile and control a site, or take control of the site. You talk about brutal against some decks. You're going wide, I crush you. Play a bunch of these. And this is another one of their good pumps. Houses of Lamination. Make your minion strength +2 or +4. You have skirmishing companion with the same culture as one in your dead pile. Pillager. Claim the Precious. There's the A one. Hey, yeah. Lady of Ithalian. 2 cost, 6 strength, 3 vitality, Gandalf Signet. Skirmish. Exert Aowen to choose an opponent. That opponent must wound a minion for each wound on each minion skirmishing Aowen. That can be a lot of wounds. I think most of these now we've probably gone through. Yep. Brooding of Tomorrow. Each time you lose initiative, except during the Fellowship phase, you may spot a Gandalf companion to choose an opponent to discard one of his or her conditions. Oh god. This card brings back nightmares. Another card for Dauntless Hunter. Cost 1 Shadow Play. To play, spot 2 Hobbit companions. Each time a minion is played, you may exert a Hobbit companion to exert that minion. Limit once per turn. Yeah. Can't tell you how many free wounds that people got. Elrond, Venerable Lord. At the start of each skirmish involving Elrond, you may reveal the top card of your draw deck. If it is a Elrond card, you may heal another elf. Another Gorgoroth Swarm. Last throw. Marvel. Watchman. Okay. I think we're getting down to stuff seeing most of the commons by now. The Scavenge. 3/8/2. Each time a minion wins a skirmish, may exert it to discard a possession borne by a character that minion is skirmishing. Another copy is Shadowplay. The Sentinel, 2/7/2, Sight 6, damage +1. If you can spot another Sauron Uruk-hai, this minion is Twilight cost -1 for each possession you can spot. So essentially, it could be free. Larry Kentia, Thrall the 1. 5 cost, 10, 3, Vitality, Sight 3. Enduring Fear, shadow cards cannot exert Kentia during skirmish phase. Skirmish, heal Kentia to discard a possession borne by a character you're skirmishing. Ooh, there's another foil. 10 times overwhelmed. I like how the foiling process works. I think we're at the point now we just about seen all the comments. This is another card made Dauntless Hunter very feared. Slunk out of sight. Cost 1. Stealth event. If there are 6 or more Hobbit cards in your discard pile, cancel skirmish involving a Hobbit and a minion who is not fierce. Each minion in that skirmish is fierce until the regroup phase. So you might ask, but they're still going to have to fight the minion. Well, yes. But the idea here is your opponent's overexerted everything that he has trying to overwhelm Frodo or Sam. Or one of the Unbound, or the Unbound Hobbits. And now you can just play this and cancel the skirmish, make him come back fierce, and have him fight something else. Super good card. Laminia, Thrall the 1. 4 cost, 9, 2, 3, Enduring Fierce. Same line about shadow cards can't exert. Skirmish, heal Laminia to wound up to 3 other Nazgul minions. Stuart's Tomb, 5 Sight 5, King 8, Twilight. Wounds cannot be prevented or healed. Burdens cannot be removed. That is for both players. Oops. Shoot. Still had it upside down. Our rare is Denethor, Lord of Minas Tirith. 2 cost, 8, 3, Aragorn Signet to play. Spot 2 other men. If it is Sanctuary, exert him to take a Gondor card into hand from your draw deck, then reshuffle. Choose an opponent who may draw 2 cards. Don't think we saw this one before. Underfoot. If you have initiative, spot a Southron man, discard this condition to reconcile your hand. Yeah, so this is a shadow action. Reconcile your hand means you can discard up to 1 card and then draw until you have 8 cards in hand. Typically, you only do that during the regroup phase if you are the shadow player, or at the end of the turn if you are the Free People's player. And then it has a skirmish ability as well. of the site, the menu, Final Strike, and Shargat, Captain of Sirathungal. 5-13-3, Site 6, damage +1. Each time he loses a skirmish, you may exert a character, which is a very interesting ability. Yep. Okay. I'm also at this point we've seen all the commons. Memories of Darkness. 1 cost unique conditions, board area, placed by a dwarf. Each time you lose initiative, except during the fellowship phase, you may play a dwarven condition from hand or from your discard pile. Whoops, Watcher, Blood Marshals, and then Celeborn, Lord of the Galadriel. 2/6/3, at the start of each skirmish and following Celeborn, you may reveal the top card of your draw deck. If it's an L1 card, you may discard it to wound each minion in that skirmish. He said, don't mess with me, I will shoot you down, bitch. Yep. I would just pull up the card list and see if I've missed any, but I have a wired keyboard that's up against the wall, and I don't want to bump the camera. This is another one we haven't seen. Brave and Loyal. You have a Hobbit companion is not assigned to a skirmish. Exert that Hobbit to have him or her replace a companion except the ring bearer in a skirmish. Isengard. Suffered much loss. 2 cost. Each site on the adventure path is battleground. While you have initiative, each orc high is strength +1. Got a sword earlier. Gorbag, Covetous Captain. 5-11-3, site 4. For each wound on the ring bearer, each orc is strength +1. That ability gets dumb real quick if you swarmed. Great Heart. Unyielding, Hasty Garrison. We haven't seen this one. Rank and File. Each roaming Sauron minion takes a wound. You may add a Sauron token here. Regroup. Exert an Uruk-hai or discard a Sauron minion to add a token here. Skirmish. Remove 2 tokens from here to make a Sauron minion strength +2. Easterling Berserker. 6 cost, 11 strength, 3 vitality, side 4. Easterling to play spot on Easterling. When this minion is unwounded, he is damage +2. Wound 2 other Sauron men to heal this minion. The Tale of the Great Ring. 0 cost, unique Tale skirmish. Prevent a hobbit from being overwhelmed unless a shadow event is or was played during that skirmish. Discard this condition. That's another Dauntless Hunter card. Mordor Wrench. 3936. Shadow. Spot 4. Free people cultures and exert another Sauron minion twice to add 3 and draw a card. Galadriel, Lady Redeemed. Starting Fellowship, she's -3. Fellowship or regroup, discard a Elven event from hand to discard a shadow condition or possession. She was in that deck too. That's an uncommon we haven't seen. The Ring is Mine. 1 cost Sauron event. Response. If a burden is added, spot a Sauron minion to add an additional burden. This is got super dumb. Another copy, 5th level. Corsair Ruffian. 4924. Corsair. When you play this minion, you may spot another Corsair and discard the top card of the Free People's player's draw deck to add 2 tokens to a card that already has a token on it. Our rare is Uleri Inquea, Thrall of the One. 6 cost, 11/4/3 enduring. Skirmish. If Uleri Inquea is skirmishing, heal him to add a burden. Yikes. I don't know if we've seen this one. Corsair Boatswain, 2/6/2, side 4, Corsair to play spot a Southron man. I always forget what the evil. It's evil men actually, but Shadow. Exert this minion to play a support area possession from your draw deck. Controller, damage +1, he has fierce if you spot 3 possessions. Pelennor Prairie, we saw that one earlier. Here's Gothmog. 6 cost, 13/3/4, Besieger. When you play him, the Free People's player must wound a companion for each site you control. While you control a site, he is fierce. He was also brutal in that deck. Almost made a mess there. Drawing his eye. 2 cost. For each Gondor companion you spot, reveal 1 card at random from the shadow player's hand. Choose a revealed shadow card to be discarded. Then the owner draws 1 card. This was also very strong. Ooh. Yeah, double rare. Foily. Orc Slaughter. 4 cost. 10, 3, 6. Enduring. And for each wound on this minion is strength +2. So, basically, for each wound on this minion, because of enduring, he's strength +4. So exhausted, he's 18 strength. Don't want to mess with him. Okay, another narrow escape. Another Arwen. Another suffered much loss. Corsair Brute. 5 cost, 10, 3, 4 Corsair. To start each skirmish involving this minion, you may remove a token to wound a companion he's skirmishing. This was a very strong card too. And I will say, despite the fact that this both cost you a Twilight and reduce their vitality, this card was really good too, especially when you could bounce your hobbits. Recruiting on the Morrow, Ruffian, Watcher, and a Dark Shapes. Pull this up here a little bit. A Dark Shape Sprawling. If an opponent plays possession on a companion, play Gollum at Twilight cost -2 from your discard pile or hand to suspend the current phase. Begin a skirmish phase involving Gollum and that companion. When it ends, resume the suspended phase. This is a very strange card, but basically you get an extra skirmish with Gollum. So hopefully you won't put anything on the Ring Bearer. Out of High Airs. The Fellowship moves in the regroup phase. Exert your wizard to discard each minion. Really good. Ooh. It's a foiled Arwen, Queen of Elves and Men. Love it. These packs were 11 cards, so you got 3 uncommons, a rare, and 7 commons. There's Toldia. 6 cost, 12 strength, 3 vitality, sight 3, enduring. Shadow cards can't exert him during the skirmish phase. Skirmish heal him to make him damage +1. Raise Martin, suffered much loss. Go back. Rallying Call, 5th level, Watcher, Treebeard. 5, 12, 4, got a spot 3 Gandalf companions. Regroup, exert him twice to play a Gandalf condition from your discard pile, and make the opponent discard one of his or her conditions. Forgot he was in this set. This is the other card that was in that deck. Great Day, Great Hour. 3 cost. If an opponent plays a minion, exert it to Warfish damage +X to exert that minion X times. You've got all these wounds that are building up. Then you've got Arwen's ability, who shrinks the crap out of minions based on how many wounded minions she sees. Then you've got Aowen's ability that wounds minions based on the amount of wounds that she sees in her skirmish. It's just insane. Deck was absolutely busted. One of my favorite decks ever to play. Sadly, I did not make it to day 2. I finished 34th on tiebreakers, and 32 was the cutoff. Speak no more to me. 1 cost, Sauron Event Shadow. Exert a Sauron minion to return a Free People's condition to the owner's hand, or 2 if both are Shire conditions. That's a really good card. 4 left. We pulled all the good Guess we're missing Aragorn. Oh, yeah. Season leader. One cost condition. Bear must be a Southron. Bear is enduring. Skirmish. Remove a threat to play Rohan condition from your discard pile. This was pretty busted too. Ooh. Foiled last throw. I think that's a common. Shadow play. By the way, the once per turn on this is for each separate copy of this card. So if you've got 3 out, you can do it 3 times. Which is why this was so good. Brooding on Tomorrow, Black Marshal, and Gollum. Mad Thing. To assign Gollum to a skirmish, the Free People's player must make Gollum strength +3 until the regroup phase, or add a burden. So normally the phases go Fellowship, Forced to move at least one side, Shadow, Maneuver, Archery, Assignment, Skirmish, Fierce Assignment, Fierce Skirmish, Regroup phase. So normally each companion, the Free People's player gets to assign 1 minion to each companion, and then if there's any left over, or if there's anybody like him where you decide that you don't want to assign him yourself, then the Shadow player gets to assign to whoever, which is not good for you. So I think we've seen this one. Advanced Scout. Exert or discard this minion to make each Sauron minion you spot roaming until the regroup phase. So basically trigger all their other abilities. And Advanced Captain. Each roaming minion, Sauron minion is damage +1. Alright, last pack. Well, let me Final Strike. Scavenge, and another Tree Bear. Pull another foil. Hard to get that one. Lightning his mind. Not a bad haul. There's really one other rare that I wanted. this was the only other rare that I was looking for in that box, which was Aragorn, King Aragorn. The only original 5-cost or character that got to a 5-cost minion or companion. 9/4 Frodo Signets. When you play Aragorn, you may heal another companion. At the start of each of your fellowship phases, you may exert a companion of one culture to heal a companion of another culture. Alright guys, well that's all of that box. I also have a Fellowship of the Ring box I'm going to open at a later time. I will also record that and upload it for your pleasure. You guys have a good night.